Hello everyone, welcome to today's class. Today we are going to see class 10, chapter 5, life processes. In that we are going to see transportation, previous year questions. Here, as I mentioned in the before videos, I have given the marks. There is 1 mark, 2 mark, 3 mark or 5 mark question, and also in which year it has appeared. So you can go through this children, yes, which year it has appeared, or it is a NCERT book question also. So everything I have written here, yeah, go through. What are the components of the transport system in human beings? What are the functions of these components? See, actually heart, blood vessels and liver, these are the components of the transport system in human beings. And what are its functions? So heart. Heart is a muscular pump. It is having 4 chambers, no, atrium and ventricles. And what is its function? It functions in pumping the blood. And septum helps in preventing the oxygenated and the deoxygenated blood. And blood is having plasma, which helps in transportation of the food, the carbon dioxide, waste, yes, everything. And then RBCs contains hemoglobin, yes, which is giving the red coloration to the blood. And also this hemoglobin carries the oxygen. WBC, they fight against the infection. So they are called as the soldiers of our body. And platelets, they help in clotting the blood. Okay, then blood vessels. Blood vessels, when we talk, we have arteries, veins, and capillaries. What is the function of arteries? They take the blood away from the heart. That is why they have a thick and elastic walls. Veins, it take the blood towards the heart. That is why they are having thin walls with valves. Why valves are needed? In order to prevent the backflow of the blood. Capillaries. So they are like one cell thickness, very what is it, when compared to these arteries and veins, yeah, they are very slender, very what is this small material exchange happens here. And then lymph, it carries the digested fat and also drains excess fluid. Why is it necessary to separate oxygenated and deoxygenated blood in mammals and birds? Birds and mammals, they are warm-blooded animals, so they need constant and high energy supply. Generally, we require more oxygen in order to undergo the aerobic respiration. Then only we can produce energy. So what happens if blood is mixing, that is oxygen and carbon dioxide mixing means what will happen? Our oxygen concentration will drop. So 4-chambered heart we have. So we have a septum in order to separate. So complete separation helps us. And then what happens? So these pure oxygenated blood, it reaches the tissues and maximum oxygen delivery happens. So I've given some examples also, go through. Describe double circulation of blood in human beings. Why is it necessary? Yes, so what happens here? Blood passes through heart twice per cycle. That one we call as a double circulation. So what is that? A pulmonary circulation and systemic circulation. So what happens here? The deoxygenated blood, where is the deoxygenated blood? Here from the veins. It is going to the right atrium. Yeah, can you see children? Right atrium. It is entering the right ventricle. From here it is entering the pulmonary artery. From the pulmonary artery it is going to the lungs. Yes, so what is happening there? Oxygen is absorbed and carbon dioxide is released, and then this oxygenated blood enters the heart through this pulmonary vein. Yes, it is entering to the pulmonary vein. So in systemic circulation, what is happening? This oxygenated blood enters the left atrium, comes to the left ventricle, yeah, through this aorta region. See, this is the aorta. Through this aorta, it is moving and it is going to all the body parts. That is, it is throughout all the cells here in the body. So oxygen is moving along with the blood and carbon dioxide will be collected. Can you see here children? It is going to the all body parts, again the same process, yes, takes place. Why it is necessary? See, complete separation of oxy and deoxylation blood is very important. And then efficient oxygen supply for high energy needs, we need this separation. And it maintains constant body temperature. So fishes I have given, and then amphibians, birds, yes, how many chambers they have. So everything I have given. Draw a human heart and label parts showing oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. So for this, if you want means you can, otherwise this diagram is very important, children, very important. This diagram is very important. So when we see, you can draw this diagram, how you can draw this diagram. Maybe in the next class, I'll teach you how to draw this diagram simply. So how you can draw like this, you can draw like this, and then inside that the two heart shape you can draw like this, yeah, two small hearts you can draw, and here you can put one yeah, small heart like this, and on the top of that this one you can just give one opening here and also here in the center, so that will be the valves. So what is happening here? We have the right atrium here, right ventricle. Again, it is going to the pulmonary artery. Again, the blood is coming from the pulmonary vein, from the lungs. It is going to the left atrium. It is going to the left ventricle. From here, it is going to the aorta, to the all body parts. Yes, I'll draw a simple diagram, children. I'll show you how to draw it simply. There's three differences between arteries and veins. Very important questions. So arteries carry the blood away from the heart. They are thick and elastic in order to maintain the high pressure. Otherwise, what will happen? If they are not thick and elastic, it may burst. So no walls. No walls are necessary because already high pressure is there. So easily blood can be transported. And oxygenated blood only goes except the pulmonary artery, which carries the deoxygenated blood from the heart to the lungs. And then veins, they carry blood towards the heart. They have thin walls with the valves. So low pressure. So in order to, because it is low pressure, it is having walls, so it can prevent the backflow of the blood. And then deoxygenated blood only it takes except the pulmonary vein, which brings the oxygenated blood from the lungs towards the. What are the differences between the transport of materials in xylem and phloem? Yes. So what happens in xylem? See, water and minerals are transported only in upward direction. That is always happens in unidirection, only one direction. And that cells are dead cells. Yeah, they don't need any energy also. During the daytime, what happens? Because of the transpirational pull only, the water moves upwards. But during the night time, the root pressure is enough for the movement of the water. Phloem helps in transporting the food. So what happened here is, here it is bidirectional. So both up and down movement takes place. So here the living cells are sieve tubes and companion cells, and the energy required also very active process takes place. And mechanism is what happened because of this sucrose is loaded here, osmotic pressure. So water is entering and pressure moves the material from the higher to the lower region. How are water and minerals transported in plants? Through xylem only. How water and minerals are transported? Through xylem. So root absorption. So these root cells, they absorb these ions, and the water enters by what process we call osmosis. So already we have studied about osmosis in our lower class. So from the region of the higher concentration to the region of the lower concentration, yes, through a semi-permeable membrane, yes, it is these ions are passed. And then what happens? Root pressure. So water column pushes this upward. Always more important at the night only this root pressure is acting, and then transpirational pull. So this happens during the daytime. So here what happens in the stomata region, water evaporates because of this evaporation, transpirational pull, yeah, some kind of suction is happening. So because of this, water from the root system is absorbed and is moving into the plant. And then continuous channels, like it is having the xylem vessels, and it forms the networks from the roots, it goes to the stems, it goes to the leaves, yeah, throughout the plant body. Also it helps in maintaining the temperature. How is food transported in plants? See, via we through the phloem only it happens, and that process we called as the translocation. So from the leaves we call as the kitchen, no, where the food is produced, right? So from there the food is produced and is going to the all plant parts. So what is happening? So the sucrose in the sieve tubes, yeah, they are utilizing using this ATP. They increase this osmotic pressure and water is entering, and also high pressure moving the material to the low pressure areas. And then movement will be upward and downward. Active process. This is a active process. But transpiration which is happening in the xylem is a passive process, a active process. So it requires energy. There we don't need any energy. Here we require energy. And then transportation, where how through the sieve tubes with companion cells. The process in which transport of soluble products of photosynthesis takes place in plants is translocation. So soluble products means nothing but food only. So is translocation. Translocation is transport of soluble photosynthesis products via the phloem. The xylem in plants are responsible for transport of water. Xylem, right? So dissolved along with the water, dissolved minerals also, everything, yeah, transported. Yeah, we have come to the end of this session, children. Yeah, go through all the, yeah, previous year questions of this transportation. Yes, thank you.